Sorry, Len. A little late. Had to take a couple extra laps. You know, when you're playing, sometimes you lose track of time.
I gotta be honest, we were wondering where that cart disappeared to.
You let me use it. You told me I could use it.
Wow.
That's my story.
I borrowed it.
Yeah, it's your problem. Hi, Rob Stenberg, another installment of the AMSOIL Information Series. Glad to have you here. We're here to talk about cart engine oil. Some time ago, Briggs Stratton, the largest manufacturer of small engines in the world, came to AMSOIL because they were having a little bit of a problem. Their oil and the supplier that they were using at the time couldn't figure out the problem. They were blowing up engines. The oil just wasn't performing to where it needed to perform to. So AMSOIL went ahead and said, let's do this, we can figure this out, which of course we did, and Briggs Stratton distributed this particular product. AMSOIL is happy to say we've negotiated with Briggs Stratton. AMSOIL dealers are now the exclusive distributors of Briggs Stratton 4T racing oil, engineered by AMSOIL. And we're happy to have Len Groom, Technical Product Manager for AMSOIL, with us today to talk about this market and about this oil. Now, Len, can you tell us a little bit about the oil, a little bit about the testing, some of the things that went into manufacturing and engineering this oil?
Well, Briggs came to us looking to build this product, and we needed to figure out what actually was going to work and not work in these engines. So we looked at the industry and we looked at the market and what actually works and what doesn't, and we found a known good. And then we worked together with Briggs to develop one of the most excruciating dyno tests that I have ever seen an engine go through.
Really?
What we learned through this testing was that these karting engines are unlike any kind of a racing engine that we knew. Pressure-fed lubrication is what we typically see. These are splash lubricated. It required us to do some different things with the oil. So we gave it our best shot. We used some of the base products from AMSOIL that we had in-house as a roadmap. Okay. We got in the dyno cell and we started testing engines.
Now you broke a couple, I bet.
We did. We did break a couple, but we needed to learn because, like I said, this wasn't something that we were used to doing. We were also using a different technology than the industry was used to seeing, as we do at AMSOIL. But we got an oil to pass. We got it to pass well. We got good repeatability on the test. So we actually built an oil with Briggs that holds up. This is the great part. We used a limited mod karting application, which means you're 9,500 RPM and higher. It's very, 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 very high RPM, wow. Very tough test.
Right.
So we're able to provide protection in those applications, but then you look at a stock animal type engine, which makes less horsepower, less RPMs, and it doesn't give up any horsepower. Typically, dealers will need to recommend 2 different products to cover this market. With the Briggs Racing 4T, it's one product.
So you mentioned the engines, you mentioned the animal engines. What kind of other engines do you see in the kart market?
The very popular ones, obviously the Briggs Stratton Animal, which is growing in popularity throughout the karting market. The Briggs Raptor, which is what you rode in on.
Okay.
There's several other manufacturers that actually build engines.
Okay, so it's not just Briggs Stratton engines. You'll see other manufacturers like
Yamaha makes one. There's a box clone out there. Okay. There's a couple different types.
So why don't we talk a little bit about the kart market then? Just tell us a little bit about the market and what dealers might see in the market. It's
an all right market. It's 100,000 karters. The nice thing about it is it's where you're going to start if you're going to get into some type of racing. There's dirt, there's pavement. You can be anywhere from age 7 to our age. Or your age. Wow. I don't want them to think we're the same age.
No, heaven forbid.
It's a very wide range of people that get into karting. It's relatively inexpensive. You can get in for as little as $1,500, or you can spend as much as your checkbook will allow you to. Wow. It's just a question of what market you want to be in.
And of course, they're not getting to the racetracks in these karts.
They aren't. They're carried. And the nice thing is you don't need $1 million hauler for this. You can use the box of your truck. You can build as you need and still be competitive. You just pick your class. So it's kind of an interesting market.
Fun hobby.
Yeah, and as you can see, you rode in on a kart that we have. We've been in this for a little while.
Yeah. Hey, Len, thanks for being here today. Really appreciate you being there.
Thank you.
Giving time. Now, one other thing that I want to talk to AMSOIL dealers about is making sure that they leverage this relationship, the relationship between AMSOIL and Briggs Stratton, into growing your business into this small engine market, not just with Briggs Stratton engines, but other small engines as well. Any type of business that's powered by small engines, whether it's a construction company, a landscape company, golf courses, you name it, there are a lot of businesses out there that are powered by small engines, and increase your market share in your area and leverage this relationship between Briggs Stratton and AMSOIL to your benefit. For another AMSOIL Information Series, I'm Rob Stenberg. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.